Hey guys, I'm really excited about my book coming out called Money Mastery. And really, it's a compilation of all the years that I've taken in learning lessons of wealth and put those together into this book. In fact, I've got kind of the raw manuscript right here in front of me. And so I'm coming to you today in this vlog to kind of share with you my excitement about the book coming out, and also just to kind of give you some highlights. And as I look at this kind of raw manuscript, look at the chapter titles. Chapter 1 is Understanding Wealth, and then chapter 2 is God's purpose for wealth. And one of the things that I'm excited about is what we like to say when we're talking about the fact that God gives us the power to get wealth is our theme here at Wealth Builders, and also the theme of the book is making sense of making money for making a difference. And so when I look at the chapters and talk about understanding wealth, what wealth really is, and then chapter 2 is God's purpose for wealth, which I believe God put us in the earth for the purpose of making a difference. And when Jesus prayed, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven," I believe that God brings us into the 7 mountains of the marketplace in the earth, the pillars of culture and the pillars of society. God allows us to infiltrate those pillars or those mountains of society, the church, to infiltrate it so that God's kingdom can come. His will can be done in the earth as it is in heaven. So how do we do that? Well, that's really about what Money Mastery is about, especially in the business mountain. We want to focus on both not only personal financial literacy for your life, and which we call really the first X. And the first X is really about reducing your expenses and increasing your income. So one of the things that I talk about in the book is the triple X factor. And so a lot of times when people talk about wealth, one of the greatest misunderstandings I have seen in my years that I've lived in this earth and has been this: it's like touching an elephant. Some people will touch the the trunk of an elephant and say an elephant is like a hose. Others will touch the side of an elephant and they'll say, oh, if they talk about an elephant, it's like a wall because they're touching the side. Others will grab the tail and say, oh, the elephant's really a rope. But see, an elephant's really all of those things. And it's the same way with wealth. Sometimes we touch different pieces of the wealth building process and think this is how you do it, or this is what it is. But the truth of the matter is that it's all of those things. And so in the triple X factor, in teaching that, what we're showing you is wealth building from a 30,000 foot view, where you can really understand wealth from the beginning, the first X, how you go to the second X, all the way through the third X. In fact, in the book, I've actually put an actual diagram for you to fill out for yourself. One of the things that I'm excited about. So in chapter 3, I actually talk about that triple X factor. And then that's really part 1. Then in part 2, we talk about the 4 steps to reaching the first X. What steps do you really need to take to put yourself in a position? Then we talk about positioning yourself for wealth. Really, it's about the law of change, about how you've got to change your mind and change what you're seeing and expecting in your life in order to be able to move forward to build wealth. And then we talk about God's laws of wealth and the earth's laws of wealth. And one of the favorite laws that I believe God brings to us so that we can build wealth is the law of connection. I talk about several laws, but one of them is the law of connection, where Isaiah 43 says, God has given people for your life. So my experience has been anytime I walked into any acceleration of wealth in my life, it was because God put a strategic relationship there that either taught me something I didn't know, showed me something I'd never seen, or in some cases literally took me by the hand and walked me through the process. And so the law of connection is powerful. Then we talk about the earth's laws of wealth. In other words, what things are in here, like the law of leverage. How are we able to use leverage? In fact, I'm using leverage today sitting here talking to you. I don't know how many I'm talking to, but I know that we have several thousand people that view our blog. And so as I'm talking to you, this is leverage. If I was with you kind of in a coffee shop by ourselves, that'd be one-on-one. But now I'm just talking actually in an iPhone camera. is what I'm talking in right now. And with this iPhone camera, I'm talking to thousands of you that are viewing the blog. And so that's leverage. And so we talk about how God actually uses the law of leverage. It's an earth law that you apply. Then in part 3, we really get into how do you start building the second X in your life. And we really talk about the principles of business and really some of the strategies of business that you need to apply. Because remember, there's 5 ways that God really brings wealth into your life that you can do here in this earth. And of course, one is, we call it rent from real estate. We call that level 2 income, or building the second X. The income that comes at the second X is rent from real estate, profits from a business, and then interest that's from CDs or bonds, dividends from stocks, or royalties from intellectual property. And the truth of the matter is, there's not a whole lot of other ways. So I like to say it this way. Some people think there's 14 million ways. No, categorically, there's really only 5. And then I talk about 3 more that are possible, but really those 5 are the primary, and we address every one of those in the Money Mastery books. And I added the new chapter. Some of you don't know this, but I added the new chapter on the stock market. In fact, the book was going to be out earlier, and in fact, it was going to be out in early August. But because we added that and a couple other things to the book, in fact, let me tell you this, the book right now is sitting close to approximately 300 pages. So that's a lot of information where I've taken what I believe God's shown me about Him giving us the power to get wealth over all these years and put it into this book. So I don't know how you would look at it, but it's kind of like you get the value of my wisdom that has come for 45 years, or let me say it better than that, the wisdom God's given me. It's not my wisdom, but it's the wisdom God's given me. But I got to put that into a book and really taken all I know about wealth building and put it in this book we call Money Mastery. And then I think the most exciting part of it is really where we get to talk about the third X. And the third X is really about us. You know, Jesus made it very clear and very plain that it wasn't about us building bigger barns for ourselves. He gave the parable where the man he was using as an illustration said that when more increase came to his life, he was just going to sit back and take his ease. And literally it says he said he was going to eat, drink, and be merry. And Jesus said, "Thou fool." He said, "Tonight your soul will be required of you." Why? Because he thought it was about himself. It's not about me and it's not about you. It's about God and about what He wants to do in our life. When we understand that, and when it comes to wealth building, it's okay for us to have some barns. Jesus said it was. He said it was okay to have barns and for increase to come in our barns. It's not okay for us to continue to build bigger barns in our lives, to heap it on ourselves. It's about making a difference. So the third X is about literally city and nation transformation, where we talk about Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. In other words, we go into these nations. In fact, I'm leaving in just a couple of days. As we're recording this, I go to Uganda. And I'm excited about going to Uganda because we're actually practicing what we're preaching in the third X in Uganda, where we're empowering people through microfinance lending and literally beginning to see that nation affected and the city of Kampala and outlying areas affected in a kingdom way, really having a kingdom mindset and a kingdom impact. And so the Money Mastery book, I'm so excited about it coming out. And the pre-order for the book, if you want to pre-order the book, it ends in September. But if you pre-order now, you'll also get a free ebook that goes with it. And you can actually look right here on the screen where we are, up to my left, and there's a place you can select there to be able to pre-order the book. And so I want to encourage you to do that. But I'm really excited about the book coming out, and I really believe it's going to have an impact. In fact, just to let you know this, there's been several organizations that have recently contacted us because we're actually taking the book and putting a workbook with it, and we're actually we're producing from the book an actual money mastery program that people can use in churches, people can take in the privacy of their own home, the actual course, a money mastery course or program. So we're really excited about some of the requests we've been getting lately from this. So I just want to encourage you, if you hadn't had a chance yet, or you're not familiar with the fact that had a chance to see what we're doing, or have had a chance or an opportunity to hear what we're teaching in Money Mastery, I encourage you today, check out some of the blogs actually that you're on now that are about that. And then in addition, I want to encourage you to be sure and pre-order the book. We're excited about it coming out, and I look forward to getting your feedback. And for many of you, again, thank you for giving me your feedback in the process of writing this book, so we're able to talk to the needs that you really have. So God bless you, and thank you for watching this vlog. We'll see you here next week or so. Bye-bye.